Okay, hey everybody. So today I thought I might help clarify a little bit of Barry's half-step rules and I'll probably divide this up into 3 videos. The rules pertaining to the dominant seventh, and then the rules pertaining to the major and the minor. These two might actually be another one video, but we'll see. But we'll start with the seventh, just to keep it simple. I don't know if there are other sources out there on the internet that really outline it clearly. So this is based on Barry's rule sheet, which you can get by attending Barry's workshop, which I'll link to the Facebook group whenever Barry does an online workshop, it's usually advertised on that group, and so I'll link to that. And I really recommend everybody sign on and get a feel for how Barry teaches. There's no substitution for the real thing, and no substitution for direct exposure. So, but I'll try to break it down logically to the best of my ability. So, right to it. So we're talking about seventh chords, and right now we're going to talk about a C7. Okay. Now, the C7 scale is basically, you know, using the B flat or the dominant seventh, right? But now we have a problem because it doesn't fit the rhythm, you know. And usually, when you apply it to a song, you would go from the seventh. That fits a little better, but the half-step rules are designed to make the scale fit the rhythm. So, and they're very simple. So the first thing that you do is that when you start a line on the root, the third, the fifth, or the seventh, okay, you have a choice of inserting 1 or 3 half steps. Okay, if you're inserting 1 half step, the location of that half step is between the root and the seventh. So if I start on the root, probably see better if I did this. Okay, root, here's the half step to the seventh, and then you continue down the scale. So you end up with this: 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, by adding the half step, you've made it fit, because all of the chord tones of the C7 end up on the downbeats: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay, that's kind of the secret behind all of this. Okay, so next one. So the other choice that you have is to insert 3 half steps. So you know you have 1 on between the root and the seventh. Oh, by the way, these all work in the opposite direction too. Okay, you can do everything that you can do down, you can do up too. All right, so now the next choice is 3 half steps. The locations are between the root and the seventh, between the third and the second, and between the second and the root. So you end up with this half step between first and seventh, third to second, second to root. And that sounds like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 3. Okay, now this rule set, either 1 or 3 half steps, applies to any line that begins on the root, third, fifth, or seventh. I'll run all of those, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 from the first, 3 from the first, 1 from the third, 3 from the third. Okay, now you see I actually have to end on the fifth, but I could have kept it going. I could have gone 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? You could end on beat 2 of the next measure. So that's kind of up to you. All right. Now from the fifth, 1, 2. So 1 half step, 3 half steps, or And then from the 7th, 1 half step. And 3, or, okay, so that's the rule for when you start on 1, 3, 5, or 7. What happens with 2, 4, or 6? Okay, so your first choice is to insert no half steps. In other words, just come straight down the scale. So if I'm starting on the 9th or the 2nd, I'll just come right down a C7 scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time. And by the way, you notice I'm tapping my foot every time I do this, and this is because of years of admonishment by Barry. You know, you're not tapping your foot, that's why you're not grooving. So, and it's very important to be grounded in the beat. And again, I speak of this often, Barry is constantly on everybody. Tap your foot and tap it on 1 and 3, or all 4 beats. You know, 2 and 4 is in the heart. 1 and 3 is down here, and 2 and 4 is up here. So you have 1, 3, 1. I mean, you're going to swing the hardest. It seems it's contrary to what most people teach, but it sure helped me a lot. Anyway, so got a little sidetracked there. So what were we looking at? 2, 4, and 6. So 2, you can just come right down the scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, simple. The other choice is to insert 2 half steps. The 2 half steps are inserted between the 2nd and the root and the 7th. So 1 half step between the 2nd and the root, 1 half step between the root and the 7th. And that sounds like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you could continue the line. Oops. Okay? That applies for 2, 4, and 6. Let me run those like I did the others. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sorry, that was 2. Let's start with 9. 1, 2. No half steps. 2 half steps. Okay, 4. None. 4 with 2. Okay, 6 with none. 6 with 2. Okay? So now let's run the whole from every scale degree. Okay, from every scale degree with the appropriate rules. Okay? So 1, 2, 1 with 1. 1 with 3. 2 with none. 2 with 2. 3 with 1. 3 with 3. 4 with none. 4 with 2. 5 with 1. 5 with 3. 6 with none. 6 with 2. 7 with 1. 7 with 3. And I think that's it. Now, another thing, and I just did it now, even absent-mindedly, is you can apply the major rule to the 7th. Okay, so I guess I'll have to give you a little teaser of the major rule, but again, to keep these videos short, I'm gonna really break it up into 3, and I promised to do it sooner. I've had a very tough week. You know, like 3 of my family members came down with COVID. Okay, so, but anyway, here we are. Apologize for the delay, and I'm going to try to get this out sooner. But anyway, so here's the taste of the major rule. The 1 half step on the major rule occurs between the 5th and the 6th. And that may remind you of the 6th diminished scale. Okay, very similar. Okay? Okay, and you know, it's funny, I just said very similar, and then Siri came up. What's up with that? Okay, but at least it didn't stop my recording. So, So you could apply this major rule to the seventh, or on a seventh scale, my bad. Okay, and then the same sets of rules. I don't know if you can do that on the 9. Yeah, oh yeah, that doesn't apply to 9, so never mind. And then you can also apply between the 7th. Okay, so there's another thing you can do when there is a, how do you put a half step in when there is a half step between the chord tones? Okay, so that's a question that's going to be answered on the next video. So, all right, so this, you can do this all day long on just C7, you know. Yeah, we got to talk about how triplets factor into this too. So there's a rule for triplets. But anyway, that'll get you started on the dominant 7th scale. Last thing I'll leave you with, this will apply when you use the tritone. So let's say I'm going G minor 7 to C7 to F major. Okay, I could play C7 for the G minor, right? Then I can put a rule on an F sharp 7. Okay, so if I think the tritone away, the same rule sets apply. So this is why it's really cool. So, you know, like if Barry's in E flat, you might go, you know, song like this, you know. It lands you right where you need to go. So if you're doing a tritone, think the rules too. Okay, I hope this video was useful. I thank all of my Patreon contributors. If you like these videos and you think they're useful to you and they're helping you practice, please consider visiting my Patreon page and chipping in a few bucks. If you go a little further, then you will get access to, you know, member exclusive content such as Q&As, which is coming soon, and you know, transcripts, etc. And but you know, I'll keep posting new stuff. I'm just learning this Patreon thing. But yeah, you know, I thank everybody. I love the comments, so please comment, like, subscribe, share it with your parents, share it with your kids, with your uncle, anybody who likes jazz. Okay, and then I'll link to the Facebook group where you can find Barry's online workshops. Thanks again for watching, and see you on the next one.